People keep saying, on YouTube, you can replace the word algorithm with audience. I can think of at least 4 distinct situations in which you can blame the YouTube algorithm. Howdy everyone, Nate here. In my estimation, that saying made by many well-known YouTubers
Literally anytime you use the word algorithm, just replace it with audience.
Isn't entirely accurate. Because, while easily memorable and often helpful as a reminder to creators, there are some major issues, especially for creators with boots on the ground actively creating content that are not getting traction. Replacing the word algorithm with audience assumes omniscience. It assumes that the YouTube algorithm is all-knowing. The YouTube algorithms are dang good, but they're not that good. Your channel spread is limited both by the sector that it is tested in and your own audience's short-term memory. With that short-term memory based on the barrage of content that your audience is faced with on any given day, not necessarily based on your audience's actual preferences. So let's hash it out. Channel authority testing batches. Ever seen this flatlining views behavior before? Chances are, if you've experienced anything on YouTube where you publish a video, you'll see a spike and then a flat. This came to my attention many months ago as I kept having people come to me and say, what is doing this? Why is this behavior happening? And while I have spoken about this in previous videos on my channel, in this one, we're talking through why this is not the equivalent of audience behavior. This isn't what I would call normal audience behavior. It's not like you're selling cabbages at a farmer's market. You put out your cabbages or your videos, people start to become interested in those cabbages, and they start walking towards your farmer's market cart, and then all of a sudden your cart just freaking disappears. It's especially frustrating when it seems like your video is doing well before it gets cabbaged. I propose we rename this flatlining behavior as getting cabbaged by the YouTube algorithm. What's really going on here is that is an algorithm testing batch. That is not the equivalent to audience behavior. So what's the solution here, and where can we very rightly place our blame? There are limits to the blame we can place on the YouTube algorithm here, due to your cabbages or your video just not being very enjoyable. You see, there's 2 angles here. Either A, your video wasn't good enough for the audience section that the YouTube algorithm tested your video with, or B, that test was run and it just didn't show significant enough data to warrant additional testing yet. You see, videos take off all the time, breaking through that barrier exceptionally well. And one of the ways to get more chances to break through the barrier is to rework the previous content that you published on your channel. Recalling what I talked about earlier, partially due to the barrage of possible videos they could watch, and partially due to just life in general, most audiences have shorter term memories than you realize. And they'll often forget a video you published previously, or they'll be new since you published that older video and just simply not know about it. So the solution I'm proposing here is to rework some of the previous content on your channel in a new, more easily consumable way for future audience. And one of the best ways I have found to do that is using a tool called Nexus Clips. Many YouTubers that I'm sure you already watch are having great success with reworking content in a new, fresh way. And what Nexus Clips does very well is it makes that process very straightforward and simple, for a fraction of the time and cost. Because with a few clicks and editing, you can have several reworked videos ready to go. Say that 5 times fast. So go ahead and get Nexus Clips using the link below. Larger channels advantage. The reality here is YouTube simply gives more chances to larger, more tested channels than it does to small channels. It makes sense because from a YouTube platform standpoint, they want to show satisfying videos to their viewers, and a tried and true proven channel is statistically more likely to be satisfying to viewers than a brand new channel. For example, if you had a favorite cabbage variety that was only sold by a certain cabbage cart at the farmer's market, you went there over and over again and you always got that cabbage. If the next time you went to the farmer's market and that cart or that cabbage was completely missing, you would feel disappointed. Put in YouTube terms, you wouldn't be as satisfied with your experience at the farmer's market or on the YouTube platform. Now here, I definitely appreciate what the YouTube algorithms are doing by actually giving chances to the new varieties of cabbage or to the new channels and the new creators. And this can be seen directly in action when you visit the YouTube homepage. In fact, if you go right now, chances are at least one of the videos of the top videos that show up on the homepage will be from a newer YouTube creator with a new variety of cabbage that may or may not be tasty. So the best approach for a solution here is to keep adding your own variety of cabbage to the farmer's market, allowing your audience to test it enough times and the algorithms to test it enough times to know, hey, this is a good variety of cabbage.
Pretenses and malicious destruction of cabbages.
Off with their heads! One for each head of cabbage!
Is that enough cabbage metaphors? Nah, let's keep going. Let's imagine you walked up to a cabbage cart and the person there was a fairly average looking guy, and that person handed you a cabbage that said, boop the like button on this video if it's being helpful or valuable to you thus far. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, let's move on. Impossible titles or thumbnails. The real reality here is that a larger channel can publish a video with a title or a thumbnail that simply would not work on a smaller channel. To illustrate, let me show you some examples. This is no shade on any of these channels, by the way. The channel Kara and Nate has over 4 million subscribers as of recording this. They can make a video called Back to Van Life plus a big announcement and get 1.5 million views. As I was preparing this video you're watching right now, I went to the homepage of YouTube, and this video showed up by a channel I had never seen before called Helpful House, and the video is called The World I Was Prepared For Does Not Exist. If I had not previously visited this channel and watched other videos, a title like that simply may not work. Because what I've seen over and over again, what you'll see with this impossible titles and thumbnails thing, is that smaller channels, or the channels that don't already have a lot of following behind them and the algorithms to back them up, have to work harder to get the attention. A big channel could make a video called I Have Green Grass and get millions of views, where a smaller channel might make that same video but then have to call their video something like How to Get Green Grass with Only 10 Minutes a Day, or I've helped 1,000 people get green grass and this is the wild secret. The oft-repeated saying here is, well, hey, it's just because the larger channel's video is better. But that is not always true. However, the algorithms don't necessarily know that, simply because there is less data and trust to operate off of. Familiarity and social proof go a long way. Solution for any size of channel here is to lean in to the value that your videos provide. And value here goes beyond monetary value. It goes into understanding your audience's wants really well and then delivering on it. And I have several videos that go much more in depth into doing that exact thing. In fact, I'm going to mention more about one here later on. Burying content. Another way that I don't think that algorithm and audience are exactly equivalent is I and many creators like yourself have seen several instances of the algorithm burying even the perfect video for a viewer. I saw this in action recently when a video showed up on my homepage a full month and a half after the video had been published. I had watched other videos from this channel and I had enjoyed the videos from this channel. So here I am, behaving as much as a regular viewer as I can be, considering the area of expertise I am in. But as soon as this video showed up for me in my feed, I had to pause and put on my YouTube hat for a moment and say, hold on a minute. I've watched all the other videos in this series and enjoyed them. This one didn't show up for me. Why? And upon further thought, I think one of the main reasons that this happens is just simply the volume of content available. You see, I've often heard people wishing, oh, I just wish that my homepage only showed my subscriptions, or I just wish there weren't additional recommendations made to me and I could just watch videos from the channels that I enjoy. But I follow that up with the question, but what if there's nothing new? You see, the issue here is that YouTube has to serve up something. Imagine if you went to YouTube and it showed you absolutely nothing because there was nothing new for you to watch at that point when you logged in. So it's built into the discoverability engine that YouTube will constantly be showing you stuff that it thinks might be interesting to you. That is not normal human behavior, at least not in my opinion, as a totally non-certified psychologist. So what is the solution here? Don't say it. Don't say it. Publish consistently. Dang it! Becoming more predictable to your audience, such that they get to know you by name and they begin to anticipate your next video, will directly counteract this. Now, beyond the things shared thus far in this video, we're gonna see occasional flukes due to human behavior or to technological difficulties. For example, I published this video and the timing on it was such that many people decided not to watch it right when it was published. It was published right at the time when the majority of my audience were right in the middle of the hecticness of a holiday season. Holiday? Who says holiday? It's holiday. And so as a result, and I even brought this up in a post on my channel afterwards, many people were choosing to save it for later, or it was being presented to them, the impression was being given to them, and they were saying, I just don't have the time right now. What it led to is that video being severely under-promoted by the algorithms. Even though the video itself was spot on, the timing was off. Which, by the way, it's a dang good video, because in it, I walk through planning out your year, no matter when you start the planning process, and cover the exact process that I would go through with you to make your videos much more predictable to your audience. So you know I'm gonna say it. Yeah, that's the video to watch next. Yeah, it's a good one. Just go watch it.